Welcome to the Clean Tech Pod, your go-to source for insights on Africa's journey towards a sustainable future. We are diving deep into the world of clean technology, exploring innovative solutions, and discussing the policies that are shaping our continent's energy landscape. Whether you're an industry expert, a policymaker, or someone passionate about a greener Africa, join us as we unpack the complexities of clean energy and sustainable development. I am Nnoma Ene, and welcome to another episode of the Clean Tech Pod. Today, we will be talking about the key outcomes of the West African Sustainability Forum 2024 and exploring the election and launching of the Electric Mobility Association of Nigeria. With me today is Engineer Dapo Adesina. He's a QA and QC expert with GOPA in Tech Abuja. He has over 18 years' experience in planning, designing and implementing renewable sustainable energy and telecommunication infrastructural projects. He has a background in electrical and computer engineering, and he is currently pursuing an MBA degree at Liverpool John Moores University, UK. He coordinates and leads field work for data collection and analysis from subject matter experts in transportation, energy, environment, and automotive sectors for a study and report writing on Nigerian sustainability green e-mobility solutions. He has a professional certification in e-bus system planning and optimization by the Automotive Skill Development Council in India. He was elected on the 15th October 2024 as the pioneer president of the newly formed Electric Mobility Association of Nigeria. He has interest in sustainable and renewable energy, electric mobility, hydrogen, and carbon markets. Engineer Dapo, thank you for accepting our request to be part of this podcast, and welcome to the Clean Tech Pod.
Thank you for having me.
The West African Sustainability Forum 2024 recently wrapped up, and it was an event. From your perspectives, what were your key takeaways from this event, particularly from the panel sections, stakeholders, engagement, and the guests? What are your key takeaways?
Okay, thank you very much. The West African Sustainability Forum 2024 was held uh, sometimes in October. It's titled Accelerating Sustainability Transportation in the West Africa. And so there's been a lot of takeaways from here, from the panel sessions, where we have different discussants, experts, subject matter experts discuss a lot of things, as well as we had a lot of exhibitions showing forth the different kinds of vehicles, like the two-wheelers, E2-wheelers, E3-wheelers, four-wheelers, which are the EV cars. We also had regulators being on ground, like the NADDC, which is the National Nigerian Automotive Design and Development Council. So for me, the takeaways are there's been a shift in the approach that we have noticed from the past. We've seen that government now are more focused on creating policies that incentivize EV adoption in Nigeria. And we also seen non-government organizations and private companies trying to come together to form what we know as PPP, private-public partnership, so that they can move the development of infrastructure in EV or e-mobility forward. We also have seen integration of sustainable practices. People are now able to emphasize more in integrating renewable energy source as a green form of energy for electric mobility. Also, we've seen collaboration and partnerships among NGO, private sector, and the government agencies. So those are the new shifts we have noticed in this conference.
That's quite interesting, sir. Okay, what role do you see electric vehicle playing in achieving a broad sustainability in the forum?
uh, Electric mobility is going to be playing a lot of roles. Looking at the way things are right now, we've seen that the price of PMS have really gone up, and so making people to be more innovative and thinking on how to be sustainable. Part of which is using electric source of energy to power their forms of transportation. So it's going to be playing a big role in this dispensation.
This is the first ever election and launching of the Electric Mobility Association of Nigeria. What a milestone. Can you please tell us more about the significance of this event for the association and for e-mobility sectors in Nigeria and West Africa?
Yes, thank you. This event is actually very significant because it's the first of its kind in Nigeria. The We want to appreciate actually the CTH, Clean Technology Hub, who has been at the forefront trying to put the stakeholders together. I remember in March of 2024, receiving notification from stakeholders to come together to form an association, which we have followed through till this point, and which culminated in the sustainability conference, and after which we had the AGM, where we were elected. I was elected as the pioneer president, and also I'd like to appreciate all the stakeholders for putting myself and the rest of our ESCO, the vice president, Engineer Tolulope, our treasurer, Ms. Lois Auta, and our publicity secretary, Mrs. Rume Oshene. So we'd like to appreciate all the stakeholders who have trust us with this responsibility to lead the association.
Every association has their key priorities. What are the priorities of this e-mobility association? And I know you have a plan moving forward. What are your plans?
Yes, thank you very much. Our priorities, we have for this, our primary goals and objective is to make advocacy, policy advocacy for electric mobility sector. And this has to do with not just the vehicles, and also to make a regulatory framework available to support the government in terms of drafting policies that will enable the e-mobility sector to work well. And part of that will be looking at how they can use legislation to promote or to incentivize the adoption of e-mobility. Another one is infrastructure development. We want to establish a comprehensive network of public and private charging stations, which is a great deal, which is key to the success of the e-mobility sector. So we'll be working with the government and other partners, NGOs, private sector, to ensure that this is put in place. Another one is the capacity building. People would ask, there's no enough capacity in this space. So how do you want to run it? So we're working, collaborating with training centers, universities, polytechnics, technical colleges to set up trainings to make sure that the workforce required for this sector is made available. And above all, there's public awareness and education that I want to put in place, because there's a lot of myth about electric vehicles. Do we even have enough electricity for our domestic use? And so there's enough, because we are endowed with so much energy from the sun and the likes of the renewable sources. So we are going to be doing a massive publicity and awareness to the populace, so that the adoption of the electric mobility becomes possible and becomes easy.
Okay, during the election, there are new incentives or collaboration that emerge during the meeting. Which of it are you particularly excited about?
Yes, even though at this moment we are still trying to work the legal framework for the association's name to give us a legal footing to be able to move forward. And as we work on that, we are also already pursuing the legal side of it to make sure that name is fully registered. And so, going through that process, we are looking at a situation where we go into partnership with government agencies. First among them is the NADDC, where a lot of things ongoing currently, and we think we can support in terms of policy, advocacy. NADC is actually National Automotive Design and Development Council, where things that has to do with automobiles and electric mobility is domiciled. It's under the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Trade and Investment. And there are also other government agencies. As we all know, that electric mobility is a multi-sectoral affair, looking at the environment side of it, the Ministry of Environment, the transport side of it, which is Ministry of Transport, and even the energy side of it, Ministry of Power. So there's going to be a collaboration, partnership with all of these government agencies. Also, we'll be looking at civil society organizations and NGOs where we can reach out to, take the message of environmental sustainability and have enough collaboration and partnership, and also the industry, the manufacturers, the assemblers of automobiles and all that, as well as the academic. There has to be a collaboration, handshake between the industry and the classroom, where we're able to work with the academic to develop curriculum for service centers, for energy side of the e-mobility, as well as the carbon footprint measurement as well. So these are the things we are excited about, and we can't wait to actually dive into that.
One of the selling points of e-mobility is to create job for local masses. Can you share your thoughts on how electric vehicles can contribute to job creation in Nigeria and in West Africa?
Yes, job creation is a major aspect that we are looking at, because it's the new field. And just like I mentioned earlier, it's not about the transport side of it. There are other sectors. And being a new sector, it's an emerging sector. We are looking at the manufacturing side. There are a lot of people or organizations trying to set up plants, manufacturing plants. And when you look at it, there are lots in that sector. The parts, vehicular parts, goes from the tire, the battery side. So there are a lot of opportunities, like battery as a service. You can see people who in a two-wheeler and a three-wheeler sector trying to, doing what we call the battery swap. That there are a lot of job opportunities there. Installation and maintenance of the charging infrastructure, opportunities arise from there. And also we look at the benefit it brings, the health benefit it brings to the environment by looking at zero carbon emission. And so people, the populace, are able to live better, live healthier, and live longer. So there are a lot of opportunities in terms of carbon offsets and the like. So those are the opportunities that lies in e-mobility.
Okay, for these communities to see these opportunities, how do you create public awareness campaign or educational incentive that e-mobility organization is planning to roll out?
Yes, the community is very key. Part of what I mentioned as a key role is advocacy. We've been doing a lot of awareness in the community, and they need to know. And we'll also be using the services of major leaders in the community, role models. They are able to speak because we believe that people listen to them. So we are able to bring them to fore to see why we should engage in e-mobility and the benefits that lies in there. So we'll be engaging with them, trying to bring them up to speed with the happenings in the electric mobility sector and the gains and the opportunity that lies there. So,
Okay, you made mention of the role models in the e-mobility sector. I think the youths are often the key drivers of change. How do you see the younger generation contributing to e-mobility movements, both as consumer and as innovators?
yes, the youth, the future belongs to them. So the youth, because of their innovation, they are able to, because they will be the ones using that technology. And by the way, today youths are so much into technology applications and all that. So it's going to be they are going to be playing a very major role in terms of their innovation that they bring to the table, and being also young at heart and young in strength, they are also, able to get employment opportunities by innovation, and they have entrepreneurship spirit. They're also able to set up business along the line of their innovation.
Okay. Coming to talk about the future of immobility, electric immobility in Nigeria, it's still growing as an industry. What do you see as the biggest challenge and opportunity for scaling electric vehicles in this region?
Yes, we know that there are so many challenges. So infrastructure is key, So one of the challenges is the inadequate infrastructure, and another one which is next to it, or which is even that comes before it, is the financing. The capital to finance EV purchase or setting up the charging stations. It's very massive. It's a lot. So those are some of the challenges. And again, one other challenge is the lack of public awareness. People are not aware. So, but in all of these, there are also opportunities. There are a lot of growing interest in sustainability right now. And so people are also integrating, if you check in the power sector, people are also looking at using renewable source of energy to power their homes. So by way of extension, they will be using green energy supply from solar on the wind to also power. So those are the opportunities that lies with the challenges that I mentioned. And again, there's also the policy side of it, which we as an association are looking at helping the government with. There has to be a lot of tax holiday, tax break for manufacturers, for even users of electric mobility systems. So there has to be some level of subsidy maybe at importation and even use to encourage other people to go into a sustainable lifestyle.
Okay. Then finally, how can the government and the private sector work together to improve adoption of electric vehicles and construction of charging infrastructures for this e-mobility?
Yes. So one of the major ways they can do that is partnership. I mentioned earlier public-private partnership. Now, because the government will not have all the funds, so the private sector will have the funds, but also from the government side, they should be willing to, put in place policy that will make sure that this partnership works. So again, policies provided, right policies by the government, then financing of the financial side of it from the private sector. So with this collaboration, we can see that this would really work in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Engineer Dapo, for sharing your thoughts and your experience with us today.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm excited about the journey ahead and looking for the positive impact we can both make together. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, sir. But at the first time, you didn't introduce yourself to us.
Okay. So my name is Engineer Dapo Adesina. I work as a QA/QC expert with the GOPA International Energy Consultants. Also, I got elected as the pioneer president of Electric Mobility Association of Nigeria on the 15th of October 2024.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank
Congrats.
you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, sir.
It.
Thank you for joining us today. Remember, your participations and feedback means the world to us. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, and stay connected for more inspiring conversations. Until next time, stay informed.